You welcome back to course database management system. So our today's topic of video is introduction to materialized view. So before understanding the concept of materialized view, if you remember, we already discussed the concept of view. Now there is a question in your mind that how materialized view is different from view, whether both concepts are same or any difference is there. So obviously materialize is a word that is added to the view, so obviously materialized view is different from view. So don't worry, I will explain each and everything, how materialized view is different from view and each and everything. But before understanding this, I will give a simple example so that you will understand what is the use of materialized view. Why do we require materialized view? Why materialized view is being created? What is the main objective behind creation of materialized view? Okay, and one thing is clear, that what is the main objective of creating a view? Their main objective is what? Security. In order to provide the security to the data, we are going to create a view. Why? Because view help us to restrict the access to particular attribute of the table or specific data of the table, that we can do with the help of view. So view is created for security purpose, to restrict the access to particular segment of a data from the user. So this is what the main objective of view. Now we understand what is the main objective of materialized view. So before this, I will give simple example. So at your house, generally there is a storeroom. So what is the purpose of a storeroom? In a storeroom we are keeping our things randomly. Most of the time it is observed that in the storeroom we are keeping various item in the random order. Okay, the thing which we do not require very frequently, we are keeping it in a storeroom, and that again stored in a random order. Now just imagine a situation that initially there is an emergency light at your house, so you have kept that in your storeroom, and this is again stored at randomly. It is not stored at a specific location, it is stored randomly. But after few days it is observed that there is a frequent shortage, means frequent there is a power cut in your area. Okay, you are facing a problem of power cut in your area very frequently. So at that time what you need to do, you need to go to storeroom and you have to check for that emergency light where it is being kept. So then you have to pick up this light and use it. So in the previous case, what is happening? Okay, in so previously what is the case, that previously there is a power cut, means power issue problem is there, not that much frequently. So you need to search for your emergency light once or twice. But now the issue of power cut is very high, means very frequently there is a power cut in your area. So every time you need to search the emergency light at the storeroom and you have to access it. So in which case you will require more time? In the second case, because in the previous case you are searching, but you are not searching, you are not accessing that emergency light that much. But now you are facing a problem of power cut very frequently, so very frequently you need to search that emergency lamp and you have to access it. So in this case you require much time. So in that case, what strategy you will apply? You are not going to store emergency lamp in your storeroom, but you are keeping this emergency lamp in your hall. Why is it so? Because we found that emergency lamp is a particular item which we require very frequently. That's why instead of storing it in a storeroom, I will keep that emergency lamp in my hall. Okay, so that is the thing. In the same way I am going to use materialized view. Okay, now I try to correlate this example with the example of your database. Now just imagine a situation that you have created a particular table. Say example, I have created a table bank which is having, for example, 100 attributes. Okay, 100 columns are there in that table, but it is observed that only 3 columns, name of a customer, balance and account number, these are the only 3 attributes which are very frequently being used. Okay, I have created one bank table which is having 100 columns and 5 lakh rows, or you can say 1 crore rows are there in that particular table. So and most of the time what I am accessing only 3 columns. What are the 3 columns? Out of 100 columns I am only accessing 3 columns: name, account number, and the balance. These are the 3 attributes which I am using very frequently from the table. So whether it's which one is beneficial, accessing this 3 column out of the 100 column is beneficial, or instead of this what you need to do, you just extract this column from the original table and keep it in a separate table and then accessing it from that sub table. So which strategy will save your time? Obviously second strategy, where you are stored only this 3 column into separate table, and from this 3 table you are accessing this 3 column. So this will save your time. So this is what a main objective of creating a materialized view. The main objective of creating materialized view is that you need to save a query retrieval time. This is what a main objective of materialized view. But this is not the case in case of a view. I told you that the main difference between view and materialized view is their objective. What is a main objective behind view creation and materialized view creation? View is created for the security purpose, to restrict the access to attribute, but materialized view is created to save a retrieval time, to save a accessing time of a attribute. So for that purpose you are going to create a materialized view. Now we will discuss what is materialized view, how materialized view is created, along with a example. So first of all we should know what is materialized view. Materialized view is nothing but a database object which stores the result of a query. Okay, so in case of materialized view what we are doing, we are storing the intermediate result. Just like we have taken example that I have created table bank which is having 100 columns and 1 crore rows, but out of this I found that I am going to use only 3 columns. So what I will do, I just fire one query and retrieve 3 columns and store it in a sub table. So this is what a materialized view. The sub table which we have created, which stores the intermediate result. Okay, that sub table is called as a materialized view. So it's a sub table created for original table. Original table is a bank 1, and materialized view table, for example B1. B1 is a materialized view created for original table bank. Okay, so it's a sub table created for original table which stores the intermediate result, because in original table 100 columns are there and in the sub table only 3 columns are there. That's why I'm saying you storing intermediate result obtained by firing query on a original table. Okay, means I have just fired one query on the original table to retrieve the 3 columns from it and store it in a that sub table. Again I say that it is similar to concept of caching. If you aware about the concept of cache, what is cache memory? In cache memory we are storing that particular item which we require very frequently. Why cache memory is given in your computer? Generally cache memory you are going to use when you are doing particular computation and you require particular value again and again, so that value will be stored temporarily in the cache memory. So similar to this, in materialized view we are storing that particular data which we required very frequently, but in case of caching we are storing it in a temporarily, but in this case we are storing it permanently. Permanently means what? It is not a case that for a specific period of time only you are storing it. Whatever amount of time you required, that data you can store it in a materialized view. But we can say that the materialized view concept is somehow similar with the concept of caching, because in cache memory also we are storing data which we required very frequently. Similarly here we are also storing that particular attribute, that particular data which we required very frequently. Okay, and materialized view is physical table. If we compare materialized view with the view, we come to know that materialized view is physical in nature, whereas view is logical in nature. That it is a virtual table. We already know that view is a virtual table which do not store the data, but it acts as a only interface, but your data is stored in the original table. When you are firing any query on the view, that query is transferred to original table. Okay, because view is not physical in nature, it's virtual in nature, it's only an interface. Okay, but materialized view is physical in nature. It stores data by its own, and it does not contact with a base table when query is fired on a materialized view. In case of view, when query is fired on view, the query is directly transferred to base table. Why? Because view doesn't consist any kind of data. But in case of materialized view, this thing is not there. When you fire a query on materialized view is self capable of answering that query because it stores the data. Okay, so this is again another difference. I'm telling you all the difference one by one, and finally I will summarize. Don't worry, finally I will summarize the difference between view and materialized view. And materialized view are most often used in the data warehousing and business intelligence application. Now here new term is there, data warehousing. So data warehouse means what? Data warehouse is nothing. Warehouse, you already heard a word, warehouse. Warehouse means what? Warehouse is a particular place where huge amount of thing is being placed. Just like that, this is a warehouse of a particular for example wheat is there. Okay, this is a warehouse of a wheat, this is a warehouse of a rice. So where huge amount, when you kept huge quantity at a particular place, we are saying that this is a wheat warehouse, this is a rice warehouse. Similarly, if we are storing huge amount of data in a particular place, then we can say that it's a data warehouse, the warehouse of a data. This is what a data warehouse. So what we can say, what is data warehouse? Data warehouse is a we can say is a huge amount of data. It's a collection of huge amount of data. So in that case, do we require materialized view? Yes, because it is not a case that we required all the data at every time which is stored in the data warehouse. In the data warehouse, we are storing a historical data, huge amount of data is being stored, but there are certain data which we required very frequently. So instead of storing it in a data warehouse, what we will do, we just keep the we just bring that particular item, we just bring the data and store it in a sub table. That's why we are saying that materialized view is mostly used in the case of data warehouse, means where you have very huge amount of data, but there are some parts, you observe that there are some parts which are very frequently being used. So instead of using this in that particular place, what you will do, you will keep this thing in a very separate place, so that your time of accessing the data will be saved, and which is a main objective of materialized view, to save a query retrieval time. This is what a major important thing you should know about materialized view. So materialized view is mostly used in case of data warehouse as well as a business intelligence application, and it helps us by storing frequently accessed data. Just I told you, it store in materialized view what data is stored, which are very frequently being used. And it required, whenever you are going to create a materialized view, you required create materialized view privilege. Suppose you are storing suppose you are installing Oracle in your local machine and there is no privilege given, or suppose you have created a new user. Okay, just imagine a situation, you have installed Oracle in your machine and you have created a new user, and to that new user you have not given a privilege to create a materialized view. So in that case, and in that case, suppose you try to create a materialized view, you will get an error because you are not given a privilege to that particular new user for creating a materialized view. That's why I'm telling you here that it required create materialized view privilege. Now next we will see what is the syntax to create a simple materialized view. I am talking about simple materialized view. Okay, what is the syntax to create a simple materialized view? Create materialized view. Here you need to provide materialized view name as select attribute name from table name. This is a simple syntax to create a materialized view for particular table. In this case, I am not considering update operation, I am not considering fast refresh, all these things I have not considered. Here my intention is to tell you how to create a simple materialized view. Later on we understand how to create a materialized view which will refresh automatically. Fast refresh means if you search on internet you will find a number of syntaxes, so don't get confused. Here I am giving you simple syntax to create a materialized view. Okay, so create materialized view name as select attribute name from the table. So this is what a simple syntax to create a materialized view. Now next we'll consider a simple example Just we consider that we have created a table bank with attributes account number, name, address, date of birth, balance and contact number. So these many attributes are there. Here I have not considered 100 attributes, but here I have just considered 6 attributes. So out of the 6 attributes, I come to know that only 3 attributes are there which we require very frequently, such as customer name, account number and the balance. These are the 3 attributes which we require very frequently. So what is the efficient approach? Do I need to access these 3 attributes from original table? So you can access it, don't worry, but what is a problem? You will require more amount of time to retrieve the data, because suppose the size of your table is very large, means number of rows are very large as well as number of columns are many. In that case, materialized view is beneficial. Suppose you are saying that in my table only 5 attributes are there, only 10 rows are there. So in that case, do you think materialized view creation is beneficial? No. So view and materialized view is only beneficial when you have huge amount of data stored in your table. So how to create materialized view? Create materialized view v1. v1 is the name of materialized view, as select account number, name, balance from the bank. So in this way I have just created a materialized view v1 which stores the 3 attribute account number, name and the balance. So in this way you can create a simple materialized view. Okay, so I hope you understand what is the main benefit of creating materialized view and what is the main objective of materialized view. Main objective of materialized view is to save query retrieval time. Okay, now at the last we see what are the issues that may arise in materialized view. So there are 2 issues are there, or 2 problem is faced in the materialized view. What are they? First one is a view selection problem and second one is a view maintenance problem. So first of all we try to understand what do you mean by view selection problem. So in that particular table, suppose you have created a view. So in that case you need to take a decision which view we have to materialize. Which view we have to materialize. For example, you have created a view, but view creation it is not a physical, it is virtual in nature, but you need to take a decision what are the different views are there which we have to materialize, because you need to select such a part of a data which is very frequently being used. Suppose you are selected a data which is not used that much, which is not used frequently, and you have created a materialized view with that. So in that case what is the problem? So in that case unnecessarily your space is occupied. Okay, because materialized view requires space, whereas view does not require space, because view is virtual in nature and materialized view is physical in nature. So materialized view required a space. So in this case there can be issue view selection problem. So you need to select appropriate view which can be materialized, because materialized view required a space to store that particular data. So this is the first issue that is faced by materialized view selection problem. Second problem or second issue is view maintenance problem. See, there is no maintenance of a view. Why is it so? Because view is not going to store any kind of data, so there is no issue of any kind of updation. But in case of materialized view, you are storing data in the materialized view itself, so there is a issue of updation. Okay, there may be the case that in the original table that data is updated, but in the subtable that data is not updated. So in that case you may face the issue that in original table the data is different and in the subtable data is different. That's why you need to attach a link between base table, original table and the subtable, so that whatever the changes that is being done in the base table, that should be done in the materialized view. So this is what a view maintenance problem. View maintenance problem is not there in case of view, because in that case we are not storing any kind of data. As we are not storing any kind of data, there is no updation problem. But in case of materialized view, we are storing a data separately. That's why in this case there is a updation problem. Whatever the updation that is being done in the original table, same updation is to be done in the that materialized view also. So these are 2 issues are there in materialized view. One is a view selection problem, that means which view we have to materialize, and second one is view maintenance problem, view updation problem. So I hope you understand what is materialized view. Now finally I will summarize what are the major differences between view and materialized view. So very first difference, view is virtual in nature, whereas materialized view is physical in nature. Okay, what is the main objective of view creation? Security. What is the main objective of materialized view creation? What is that? Save query retrieval time. Okay, in case of view, that query has to be executed again and again. Okay, in case of view, the query has to be executed again and again, because view does not store any kind of data, but data is stored in the original table. So when your query is fired on the original view, that query is being transferred to original table where that query is being executed, and you will get a data. But this is not the case in case of materialized view. Materialized view itself stores the data, so we didn't require to execute the same query again and again. Then maintenance of view is less, its cost is less. The cost of maintenance is more in case of materialized view. Why? Because just because of view maintenance problem, because any updation will be there in the original table, same updation has to be reflected in the materialized view. So materialized view requires space, view does not require any space. Materialized view is costly, but view is not costly. So these are the few differences that you should know about view and materialized view. So at the last, I can say that you need to keep in your mind that major objective of view is security, and the major objective of a materialized view is to save a query retrieval time. So I hope you understand each and everything about materialized view. Thank you.